been a long weekend, but it's been excellent. And you know, when you're here, you start to think about why people come to Vegas. Here we are in Las Vegas, sitting poolside, having a drink, taking it easy at the end of a long day of conferences. It's been a long weekend, but it's been excellent. And you know, when you're here, you start to think about why people come to Vegas. What's the purpose? What's the goal? And how that intersection point really is the fabric of how we live our lives and how we conduct our business as well. So when you come to Vegas, you know, you've got a certain amount of money that you may want to spend to enjoy or bet or gamble. And these themes really run concurrently to the way that people want to live their lives and the way that they want to celebrate and the way that they want to work in business as well. So the idea is that your perspective is what matters when you come to a place like Vegas. Are you coming here to purely try to get a return on investment? And if you are, what is that return on investment? Is it to have a great time? Is it to make money, try to beat the house? Is it to just have the exhilaration and the feeling that you're betting on yourself and you're taking a gamble and that you're sort of throwing the chips where they may lay and you're letting the odds sort of dictate the way your outcomes are going to go? And when you think about things in those terms, as far as those perspectives and what return on investment really means, how does that translate to the way that you live the rest of your life? The friendships you make, the relationships, the business partnerships, and so forth. All of those things are very much guided in a way that's similar to the way that you may look at a Vegas experience, because you're looking at it either being an enjoyable situation with friends or partnerships, or something that's going to generate strategic value or is going to generate financial returns. So again, very similar to this idea of the Vegas parallel, let's call it, where essentially the way that we live our life and the way that we live our business relationships out and work through business has very much a lot to do with this Vegas parallel and this Vegas concept. So let's break it down to financials. Let's think about this Vegas parallel idea as it relates to cash flow. Imagine the millions upon millions of dollars that are coming into Vegas every single day and are going out of Vegas every single day. And this is with regards to not just what happens at the tables, but what's happening in the restaurants, what's happening in the shows, all the entertainment and so forth. I mean, there is an unbelievable amount of financials that are taking place on a day-to-day basis that have to be managed. Think about all of the head count that these hotels employ and are working with to really determine how to get the best return on investment, which is by way of experience for customers to keep them coming back, and also try to make sure that the house always wins. It's absolutely a balancing act of management of cash, to experience, to hospitality, to generally the mechanics of how A to Z is done. And I believe that when you think about that with regards to the financial space and with regards to your own business, cash flow is king, right? You need to preserve that cash. You maybe want to work with other people's money when you don't have the cash itself. But either way, it's a certain amount in to get a certain amount out. As we said before, that certain amount out may not always be a monetary return. It could be by way of growth or followers in social media. It could be in terms of leads or partnerships in terms of sales. It could be in terms of financials, as we talk about it in the terms of investing. You invest in something, and in a particular period of time, you're expecting an amount that comes back. It's a very transactional type of an approach. So again, cash flow is very, very important. And we think of it in terms of Vegas, the cash in to the cash out. It's all about perspective and what it is that you're looking to get out of it. Another aspect of Vegas that people need to consider, which is really a microcosm of both life and business, is managing chaos. I mean, when you come to a place like Vegas, look at the options, look at the bright lights, look at the city, the strip, everything that's happening. It's a lot of inflow of information and distractions. And how do you distill that down into still having a great experience? How do you know that you're going to that best restaurant or that best casino or that best show? You really don't know sometimes, and you have to just take a chance. You have to really put yourself forward and go for an opportunity to see how you're gonna have the best outcome come out of this. And that's the way it is in business and in life as well. You're taking chances, you're making calculated decisions as much as you can. You're trying to filter out the noise that's all around you to really make the best distilled solutions and choices for your life and for business. And that's, again, what Vegas provides. It provides this idea of chaos and somehow in the middle of it, having to distill it down to choices. For example, I'm making a choice. Here I am in a suit and jacket in 100-degree temperature while everybody else out here is in bathing suits by the pool. That's a choice that I'm making because I'm here for a big convention, and it's part of also the Vegas opportunity. There's an ROI in conventions. I'm here for business. I'm here for opportunities to meet and greet with people. And that's why I'm wearing a suit in the sun as opposed to wearing shorts like everybody else. Another important idea to consider is guardrails. How do you know when to stop betting? How do you know when to stop investing really in partnerships, in the stock market, in your business? Well, I believe that you have to have a certain amount of capital that you're willing to risk. And just like when I come to Vegas, I know I've got a certain amount of money in my pocket, and that's it. I'm not going to go back to the ATM. I'm not going to pull out additional money. I'm not going to look for lifelines or bailouts and so forth, because then you're just digging an even deeper hole. So that's about forecasting and projections and understanding what a business looks like, what your business opportunity looks like, and how much you're going to be willing to invest in it. Just like in Vegas, you don't want to lose your shirt at the tables, so you got to know that you have a certain amount that you're willing to spend and don't exceed that. So another thing that Vegas really shows us is the importance of global supply chain. Why is that? Because millions upon millions of people had to get here. And how did they get here? They took a plane, they took a train, they drove here. There was logistics to get them here. And when they got here, they needed to have their needs and their wishes accommodated. They needed to have food that they were going to enjoy. They needed to have entertainment that they were going to consume. They needed to buy supplies while they were here to take care of themselves, and then obviously be able to gamble and enjoy their experience. And all of that is supply chain management from end to end. Imagine if you came to Vegas and they said, I'm sorry, we don't have any more steaks anymore. Imagine if you came to Vegas and they said, I'm sorry, we don't have any more shows anymore. The city would just fall down. And so again, Vegas highlights the importance of the hospitality industry and global supply chain. And I think that's very important for consumers to understand, that the impacts of global supply chain are felt every single day in things that we enjoy and experience. And Las Vegas is a perfect example of that. So if you want to know more about global supply chain or about any of the topics, philosophy, and leadership that I discussed here, make sure to subscribe on all of our social media channels or come and visit me at KareemKafouri.com. Thank you so much. So Isabella, how are we doing? How much time do we have until the next thing?
20 minutes, 30 minutes.
20, 30 minutes so I can actually eat this sandwich? All right, here we go. Going in. Let's see what we got. Not bad. Not bad at all.